Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Bob Mendelsohn, and this is the Bob's Your Uncle podcast. Shalom, everyone. Bob Mendelsohn here. This is the Bob's Your Uncle podcast, Season 8, Episode 4. And today you're in for a special treat. We've got Jennifer Clark from the middle of the United States. She's a mother, a daughter. She's a voice-over actor, a violinist, a theologian. She's got a lot going for her. You're going to enjoy meeting her. You're going to be her good friend by the end of the show. That's what 18 minutes does. It gets us to meet people, and this show is all about people. Let's learn some history.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about a science book. Don't know much about the French I took. But I do know that I love you. And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
On this date in history, the 5th of February, in 816, the King of the Franks, Louis the Pious, grants the Archbishop of Salzburg immunity to secure loyalty from the clergy. In 1597, a group of early Japanese Christians known as the 26 Martyrs were killed by the new government of Japan for being seen as a threat to society. In 1803, the English explorer George Bass and crew set sail from Sydney to Tahiti and Chile, and they were never seen again. In 1869, the world's largest alluvial gold nugget, the Welcome Stranger, was found by John Deason and Richard Oates. It weighed 97 kilos in Malayagal, Australia. In 1917, Mexico adopted its current constitution. 100 years later, in 2017, in the first overtime game in Super Bowl history, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots overcame a 25-point deficit to defeat the Atlanta Falcons. Will they win again this weekend? We shall see, and we shall not gamble.
And I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be.
Jennifer Clark of the U.S. Midwest, so glad to have you on the podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bob. It's a pleasure to be here.
You are known to me, but not recently. And by that, I mean, I knew you when. Before you were a celebrity, before you were in your own studio in your basement there. I knew you as a little kid in Kansas and in Iowa. The most famous states in the United States, I'm pretty sure. But now here you are, you've got a career, you've got children, you've got a husband, you've got a life. And I want the people of the Bob's Your Uncle podcast to get to know you. How do you identify? I'm not saying he, him, they, them. I'm saying when people say, who are you? What's your first thought?
I play a lot of roles in life, but my favorite roles that I play are mom and wife and volunteer and voice actor.
Well, that sounded like 4 different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a square or a diamond. We'll take them every direction we can. In all of those careers, stay-at-home mom, now just mom, what's the hardest? What out of all of those 4 angles, what's the hardest moment in your life?
Oh, gosh. Hardest moment was probably a miscarriage in between daughters 2 and 3. that was heartbreaking and traumatic, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody.
How did you handle it?
Um, I think with a lot of grace, but as trauma does, it kind of comes back to bite you if it's not dealt with. And so ended up going to therapy, which was always helpful. It's always good. But had a really supportive husband, great family, and really good friends who had also been through that. So that's also helpful to go through hard stuff with people.
You were bolstered by community. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
You mentioned voiceover. You've got, people are listening to your voice and they're saying, gosh, she's got a great voice. How did you get into voiceover work?
The short story is that I've always wanted to do it. When I heard that Ariel was an actual person back when I was 8 years old, The Little Mermaid came out, and I found out that's Jodie Benson. That's a real life person. I knew I wanted to use my voice in that way, but life took me a lot of different ways. I ended up getting a degree in theology, met my husband, stayed at home with our kids when they were really little. And when our youngest was about to enter kindergarten, um, my husband and I were having the conversation, what do you want to do? You know, when she's in kindergarten. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I had no idea how you actually became a voice actor. There's not a very clear path into it, unless you're living in LA or New York. And so I knew that I had to try. I said, I'll regret it for the rest of my life if I don't try. I got connected to a friend of a friend who was in the industry, and he told me this is the path. You need to study with a voiceover coach. You need to create demos. You need to make a website, find an agent, and learn how to run a business. So I thought, sure, no problem. Let's go. And it snowballed pretty fast. I think I've been on stage my whole life doing theater, musical theater, violin, singing. So performing wasn't new to me, but voiceover was. It clicked fast, and I ended up booking my first job a week before COVID shut the country down, which
Oh,
was, you know,
2020?
2020, March of 2020. And
Um,
I wasn't planning to go into the industry, really start until August of 2020, but it just kind of snowballed and I went with it.
they say God, no, man plans and God laughs.
Yes. Yes.
So, as an entrepreneur and a self-starter, what pitfalls are there? And do you handle those challenges with anything particularly?
I think that as an entrepreneur, grit and risk and grace are essential. Um, I don't think growth happens without risk. So we have to be brave enough to try things, put ourselves out there. And entrepreneur life is gritty. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. But having the tenacity to just try again when it doesn't go your way, when you fail and learn, you have to be able to get back up. And grace is one of those beautiful things that that you find when you fail. That there are some things that are tied together. Effort and success. Maybe I don't think success comes without effort, but then there are some things that don't feel like they're tied together. In my life and in my work, I feel like I have received some just exponentially beautiful opportunities that feel like a gift. And sure, I have done hard work leading me up to certain things, but I just think that there are some things that, as an entrepreneur, you need to have hands open and receive the gifts of grace that come your way.
Grace, yeah, I'm thinking of the great South African golfer Gary Player, who said, "The more I practice, the luckier I get.
Mm,
So hard work, tenacity, risk. I like that. Thank you. You mentioned a theology degree. Do you have a favorite Bible character?
that's a good question. I don't think so. I love the Book of John. That's probably my favorite story retelling of Jesus from a best friend's point of view, and I think that's really special. It's a special glimpse into the life of Jesus.
Take me back to 15-year-old Jennifer. And what advice would you give that 15-year-old Jennifer?
That's a really good question. I would tell 15-year-old Jennifer that her dreams are not impossible and to just be a little lighter on herself. Take things as it comes. It's going to be okay. You don't have to plan everything. Enjoy the ride.
How many kids were in your family?
I have three brothers.
Yeah, and you were the only girl.
Mm-hmm.
Was that fun or was that
I
traumatizing?
Not at all. I love my brothers still to this day. My older brother was my best friend growing up, and I'm close with my brothers. No, it wasn't traumatizing. They were really good to me.
You mentioned a Bible degree. Did that was why'd you get a Bible degree? I mean, what good's
Well,
a Bible degree?
it wasn't actually a Bible degree. It was in Christian ministry. That's what the major was. And my specific area of study was international cross-cultural ministry. So I I have always loved cultures. I love people and I love Jesus. And I wanted to use the gifts that I had to help other people. And so that's kind of the direction I thought my life I wanted to go. Um, and I think I've used that degree, if you want to call it, uh, experience, the knowledge, the understanding. I think I use it in my everyday life, relating to people, serving people, having eyes and ears that are willing to listen and to learn from other people, no matter what their beliefs are. Um, yeah, so
It
I
worked.
don't regret it.
Excellent. You don't regret much about your life, do you?
I don't.
You look back and smile. You look
I
back and
do.
think, this is what God has made me into. That's
Hmm.
pretty awesome. Tell me, as we come to the end of the interview, anything that you'd like to say that I didn't cover, or any correction you'd like to make so that people get you right, even though I didn't.
I don't think there's any correction to be made. I would just say if people are interested in connecting with me or learning more, you can go to jennifersvoice.com. That's my business page, and you can check out all my voiceover samples and connect with me across social media. It's Jennifer's Voice.
Jennifer's voice without
Hmm.
an apostrophe, right?
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle without an apostrophe.
Yes.
Apostrophes are so overrated. Uh,
We don't need them.
no, we're leaving them out in 20, what year is this? 26? Hey, look, it's been a joy to get to see you again after decades. We got to do this
Hmm.
more often. And hopefully I'll see your mom and dad again sooner. They're a joy. And I'll get to meet your husband and
Yeah.
where'd you meet your husband?
We met in college in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Oral Roberts University.
That's the one with the big hands in front.
Big hands. Yep. Hmm.
Okay. We have a lot of big stuff here in Australia, but no big praying hands. That would be worthwhile marketing over
It's
here.
unique.
Yeah, but too right. Look, it's a joy to meet you again as an adult, and I wish you all of God's favor. And the word you used which is probably the most significant word ever, and that's grace. To be on you and your family. Get through this winter, will you?
Yeah, we're trying. It's a little rough.
Yeah, you've got the wherewithal. Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Thanks, Bob.
We'll end. Stop. By the way, we're listening to the music of Johann Sebastian Bach. It's beautiful. So let me know what you're thinking about all this, won't you? You can write to me, bobmendo@aol.com, or just communicate wherever you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio, wherever, because we're on all those platforms. Let me know what you're thinking, won't you? Thanks. Every week we read from the #1 bestseller of all time. That's the Bible. This from Psalm 25. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me. All the paths of the Lord are loving kindness and truth, for such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. Hey, let me let you know about the website called therealbobm.com. That's my new website, and you can go to it anytime and get the latest Instagram or Facebook, my blog. Everything is all on there. There won't be anything that I write about, communicate about, that you can't find there. It's all searchable. Things about Israel, things about Jewish people, my reflections after the Bondi massacre, on and on. So even Flickr, even all my photos, historical photos, you'll find it all there, therealbobm.com. And feel free to comment on any of those platforms or right here where you're listening to the podcast. And when things seem bleak or uncertain, look up to God. He's in his heaven, and Bob's your uncle. Shalom from Sydney.